For what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to House Resolution 371, I call up H.R. 3223, the Federal Employee Retroactive Pay Fairness Act, and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the bill.
H.R. 3223, a bill to provide for the compensation of furloughed federal employees.
Pursuant to House Resolution 371, the bill is considered read. The bill shall be debatable for 40 minutes, equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. The gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Turner, and the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Cummings, will each control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks on H.R. 3223 and to include extraneous material thereon. Myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized to consume.
Myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized to consume.
Mr. Speaker,
Consume.
Mr. Speaker, the House remains actively engaged in finding a solution to end the current impasse. The House has passed a number of common sense bills to fund our troops, continuing funding for veterans benefits, and allow the District of Columbia to spend its own funds. The House has also passed legislation to bring defense civilian employees back to work. Unfortunately, the administration appears to be purposefully refusing to use the authority granted by the Pay Our Military Act, meaning roughly 400,000 defense civilian employees remain at home, unable to work. While we wait on the President and Senate to reach across the aisle, it is important to provide needed certainty to federal employees who have been furloughed without pay. Each and every one of us has federal employees in our district, most of whom are guided by a sense of civic duty and take pride in helping make their country a better place. Civilian defense personnel at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, doctors and nurses at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center, and records management professionals at the National Archives, and countless other dedicated men and women throughout my community are employed by federal agencies and have been subject to furlough. In the Coast region and other disaster-prone areas, NOAA employees help prepare for and monitor major storms. In the aftermath of these natural disasters, FEMA workers are sent into horrible and hazardous conditions to help restore broken communities. At NASA, employees help us figuratively and literally reach for the stars. They encourage future generations to not be bound by seemingly physical and intellectual barriers. Our law enforcement agencies work tirelessly to investigate and capture those who seek to do harm to the homeland as well as our allies abroad. And the list goes on. H.R. 3223 ensures that federal civilian workers will receive retroactive pay for the duration of their federal government shutdown, regardless of their furlough status. Federal workers who have been furloughed under a shutdown historically have received their pay retroactively. H.R. 3223 provides today's workforce a guarantee that their pay will resume once the President and Senate Democrats agree to meaningful discussions that will ultimately resolve this impasse. I urge support for this bill as we continue to work on legislation to reopen critical operations of the federal government. Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Ohio reserves. The gentleman from Maryland.